And off we go. My goodness! Four-wheel drive is definitely the way to go. Holy cow! Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Cory, and this is the updated 2025 Ram 2500 Heavy Duty Longhorn Limited Edition. And they say everything is bigger here in Texas. That includes our daily drivers. In this video, I'm going to take you on a tour and tell you what it has been like daily driving this big beast here in East Texas for a week. Before we jump too far into this one, according to YouTube analytics, something like 70+% of you have yet to hit that subscribe button, and we are so close to 50,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, so a quick click of a button down there will help our channel out immensely in our goal of helping more families research and buy their next vehicle. Yes, everything truly is bigger here in Texas, including our daily drivers, which is what this one has been for us for the past week here in East Texas. And you wouldn't believe how many other heavy duties, super duties, 2500s, 3500s I have seen on the roads, in town, in neighborhoods, in suburban driveways while we've had this one. These really are the status symbol of East Texas, and most of them hardly ever break a sweat, which I'll be honest, this one has not. I don't know if you could tell by the sound, but we are blessed to have the 6.7 liter Cummins turbo diesel high output inline 6 powering our Ram heavy duty, and we get a lot of power from this. The most standard towing capacity in the class with a turbo diesel engine. We get 430 horsepower and 1,075 pound-feet of torque. That does beat out the twins from General Motors, but falls short of some of the stratospheric numbers we are seeing from the Ford Super Duty. We also get a new 8-speed TORQUEFLITE automatic transmission, and of course our model is 4x4 equipped, which we will talk about a little bit more when we are driving it. And talking about everything being bigger in Texas, I'm 5'10", and to close the hood, I do have to come around to the side because it is just too tall to get to it right up there. But when we close the hood, we could talk about the updated style for 2025. We get a new grille, standard LED headlights on all trims, and it is just a cleaned up look. This being the Longhorn Limited Edition, we also get tons of chrome because this is the Western luxury truck, hence my boots today. And yes, this thing has got a lot of bling to it. And while we're talking about style, I will go ahead and say this 2500 Longhorn Limited Edition, I do believe has caused more conversations than the last Lamborghini we tested, because again, here in East Texas, these really are a status symbol. These are what you buy to show off exactly how much money or credit you have, because the price tag of this one is in the six figures, just above that $100,000 mark. And well, yeah, with all the chrome accents on the front and the beautiful interior we'll show you here in just a moment, you can see why many East Texans, why many Texans choose this as their luxury vehicle of choice. But I do want to bring you down here to wheels and tires, because I'm surprised that we don't get chrome wheels on this Longhorn Limited Edition, but we do get some machine face 20-inch wheels wrapped in some Firestone tires, and we'll talk a little bit more about how those perform when we get out and going. But I do want to go ahead and show you the tread pattern on it because, well, we do have an anecdotal story about how much power this thing has and the fact that it is a 4x4. As we pull out and take a look at this massive pickup truck, I had to walk way back to get this whole thing in frame. This is using the cab from the previous generation. So this is really just a heavily refreshed fourth gen Ram 2500 versus a full new fifth gen. This does not share the cab configurations with the 1500s, but it does share a lot of interior appointments. We'll get to that shortly. We do not have the mega cab here on our model, which would give us an absolutely massive back door, back cargo, back passenger area. But again, we'll talk interior when we get inside. Much like up front, we get updated taillights back here in the back. And yes, just to prove my point earlier, there goes a Chevy 2500 heavy duty in the background. But yes, new updated taillights back in the back, this Ram to let everyone know exactly what you are driving. And it is chrome. And yes, I may have used it as a mirror to fix my hair earlier before that first take of this filming. But then we have that Longhorn limited edition badge there, which the manufacturers lovingly call the belt buckle. We get the 4x4 there on the other side of the tailgate. No fancy tailgate tricks here. We don't get the barn door tailgate, but we do have our backup camera here, and we have an electronic latch to drop that tailgate down. We do have a spray-in bed liner here in this one. We also have the optional soft roll-up bed cover, which we really appreciate for daily usability here, because then you have all this cargo space that is weather protected back here. You can see we do have fifth wheel prep back here if you need it. We have some LED lighting. We have additional tie downs all the way around. It is a very nice, very usable bed. We even have some auxiliary power back here with a button just under the dash to turn on and off these power switches back in the back. But otherwise, a typical bed. This is where all the work happens. And yes, unfortunately for us, we have not had a lot of work we've needed to do while having this massively capable pickup truck. Another thing I do want to talk about as we are back here in the back is just how usable the bed is on this one. As large as this truck is, it does have a bed lowering position on the screen that I'll show you how to get to in a little bit, but it does allow you to drop the bed down lower so it is easier to load. Another nice convenient feature here, we don't have any steps in the bumper like Chevy, like Ford do, but we do have this retractable step here on the side that, if I can get a good grip on it, does come out with just pushing down on your foot, and then you are able to climb up in this massive bed very easily. You can see now, yeah, we can see our soft tonneau from here. You can see the roof of your pickup truck, but very easy to actuate right there. And then to put it away, you step on the side as well and just push it up. It's always fun trying to do that stuff on camera while holding a camera, but yes, lots of practicality back in the back of this pickup truck. Before we climb in this massive pickup truck, I do want to give a little bit of props to the key. Though it is big and chunky, it is trim specific, which I really like. We get some matching trim here. We get the trim name, Ram Longhorn, with all the branding here on it. Flip it over, you get unlock, lock, your tailgate release, hatch release, and a panic button right here. You can deploy a physical key if you have to, but yeah, it is a proximity key, so you don't need to take it out of your pocket, purse, wherever you do keep your keys. As we walk up to the vehicle, it is a passive entry system. All you have to do is grab the front door and it unlocks. You can see we have some lights illuminating under our trailer tow mirrors. Again, just bathed in chrome. And then to lock it, you push this button right here. Unfortunately, those are only on the front doors, so if you need to get into the back doors for anything, well, you're going to be walking up to the front door first to open that up. Even when the vehicle is unlocked, if the mirrors were retracted, they stay retracted until you power the vehicle up. When you open the door, our model does have the power retracting running boards, which is very necessary in this big truck. And then the Western interior we get here on the Longhorn Limited Edition really does step up the class. The last heavy duty pickup truck we had here on the channel was GMC's Sierra 2500 Denali Ultimate, also with a dark brown Western themed interior. And this one really takes the Western theme up a notch with all the Western designs throughout that I really like. All the rose gold accents throughout. We've got the door handles, we've got different accents here and here, and then real wood with some unique accents through the interior. I also like that we have a premium cloth throughout the interior on this one. They really have been very thoughtful with this interior. The doors also have multi-level storage, which is nice. So you get a little storage here, more storage here with rubberized cup holders that do come out if you don't need it. Even the grille surround for our Harman Kardon sound system has some of that rose gold accenting. The floor mats here are very cool. They have the belt buckle design on them. They've got inset cloth sections, and then we've got barbed wire across the top. We see more of that in the back seat for sure. More of the Western design, more barbed wire here. Very nice, very Western themed. While we are down here without my legs in the shot, I do want to show you, we actually have an old school foot actuated parking brake on this one. No electronic parking brake. And then our release handle is right there. Our cargo power button is right here. This is how you turn on those outlets in the bed. The hood latch is actually in the center since this is your brake release. Coming to the seats, we have multi-way positional with two-way lumbar, power heated, ventilated, leather-wrapped seats. But again, we get some of that cloth here. We get that belt buckle design on the seat back itself. And then only perforation for this cattle brown with a couple of different shades of brown accenting throughout. But I am going to have to climb in this pickup truck because even though it is early in the morning, the humidity is absolutely killing me. When you get in, you can see we are greeted with RAM there on the almost 15-inch screen. We get Longhorn there on the driver information center. Lots of screen real estate here in front of me. You can see our power retractable towing mirrors have now extended, just giving us a better view around our big pickup truck. But oh my goodness, this air conditioning, whew, it is so nice. And then we can talk about all the screens staring at me because we have 1, 2, 3, and then another one over here for the passenger that I will actually have to move to the other seat to show you. This screen here is configurable with the buttons here on the steering wheel. So I can go to this tile-like design where I can page through exactly what I want to see in each tile. I can make each tile display a different thing. I can reset these with the push of a button, but various different things here on this tile design. Or I can have a more traditional design here where I can actually page through multiple different things on this center screen, from the fuel economy to driver assistance and the like, all with the buttons here on the left side. Over here we have all of our cruise control, adaptive cruise control buttons. Here we have some controls for our 8-speed TORQUEFLITE automatic transmission that is column shift activated, so I really do like that. It is a heavy-duty trait that I hope never goes away. I don't like the dials as much. Starting over my left knee here, you can see we've got all of our light controls. We've got fog lights in this. We've got our lights in our mirrors. Before we move too far across the vehicle, I do want to talk about our trailering mirrors because they are power extending with this button right here, and you can actually adjust just how far out they go with the directional pad in the middle. So that is their furthest extension right there, but I can bring them in and dial them in exactly where I want them. They aren't just out or in. I have my preference over exactly what I want. You can see we've got all of our light controls right there. And then we can control the lower section as well. So these two-part trailering mirrors actually have 2 motors in them for the upper and the lower section, which is very nice. We are testing another vehicle right now with trailer tow mirrors very similar to these, but the lower section is not power. You actually have to go out and physically move that convex section, which does add a little more complexity to getting comfortable in your vehicle. So I really do like the power lower and upper section on these trailer tow mirrors. And then again, we may have the old cab in this pickup truck, but we have a new updated interior. Very much appreciate the updated interior. We got a larger screen for 2025 here for infotainment duty. My father-in-law actually has a 2018-ish 1500, and he was commenting on just how large the screen looked here in the middle. You can do a lot of stuff, but we do have our dual zone climate controls on the side for quick access buttons there. We have some driver assistance buttons on the side there. We have a mute button here. We can turn the screen off with a push of that button right there. It's not my favorite. Most of the time, if you turn the volume off or the radio off with that button, it doesn't turn the screen off, but that's why we have the dedicated mute button. You can see we have an updated Uconnect 5 system, so we have all of our shortcuts right here. This does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but I am filming on my phone right now, so we will show you that later. We do have some quick access buttons here. We have our trailer steering, our trailer brake controls right here, and various other controls with just quick access digital buttons right here, including our parking sensors. Otherwise, it is a very useful screen, but I did mention we have that bed lowering feature on this. So we do have a lot of controls built into this, including quick access shortcuts that we can drag and drop up here. So all you have to do is hold and you can drag into place up here. You can see we have our 360 camera quick access button right here, and we have good, clear, crisp cameras. And then the lower section down here has all of our additional cameras, so you can actually hook up some auxiliary cameras to this if you want. We have some trailering cameras built in to the mirrors right there, so you can actually see your corners right there, and you can actually pan left and right so that you can see more stuff on that. You can hit the more cams, and you've got a lot of cameras built into this. You can even turn automatic on. So I really do like the camera situation here in this, and just how quick it is to get to that with that quick access button, though I wish it were an actual physical button, because there have been many times where I'm like tapping on it and I'm not hitting it exactly. A physical button would just work so much quicker. That is really my only complaint with that right there. You can see we've got multiple different cameras, including looking in on our cargo back there. But lots and lots of camera views here, really rivaling what General Motors gives you with their vehicles. Coming down here to vehicle, you can see bed lowering mode. This will actually lower the bed. We get some indicators here in the gauge cluster, really showing you that the bed is being lowered. And if I time lapsed it, you could see that yes, indeed, we are looking up more as that bed squats down, so that it is easier to load the bed of this pickup truck. But then you could turn that off and it will raise back up. You can see we also have some additional controls here, including the passenger screen, which is intentionally unviewable from the driver's seat here. I will climb over there in just a moment to talk about that further. Because we do have the column mounted shifter here, which is very easy to put into gear, almost too easy. You don't really have to manhandle it that much. It does free up some controls down here for our 2-speed transfer case and heavy duty, because we don't have the dial of the 1500s right here. So you can see just how quick it pops into different gears, but I had to put it in neutral to put it in 4-wheel drive low. And then very quickly it can switch back on the fly to 2-wheel drive. So I like that a lot. Interior appointments, my goodness, we've got lots of materials, including more real wood up here. You can see we do have some storage up here with some additional power, which is nice. So if you've got a radar detector or something that you want in the windshield, you have quick access to power right there. We do have the updated rear view camera mirror here that Ram has started offering across their line of pickup trucks. Really does give you a nice clear view out of the back, no matter what cargo you have back behind you in the cab, because this is a cab mounted camera. So if you have the third brake light obstructed, that is where the camera resides for that. Moving up here, we just get a standard size sunroof with this manual shade. We don't get the massive panoramic roof of the 1500s, because again, this is riding on the old cab. This does not ride on a shared cab with the 1500s. You can see we get all of our controls for our lights up here. The different controls for when the lights come on. We have a sliding back window back there in the back, and then our different controls for that sunroof. We even do get some sunglass storage up here. For those of you interested, we do have some HomeLink buttons here on our visors that do slide out, which is a very nice touch as well. Talking about storage up here, we've got tons. So just like on the 1500s, we have a very configurable center console. We do have that belt buckle here that I will go ahead and show you. Yes, real metal here, so they are very proud of the belt buckle design. We have one felt-lined layer right there, and then we have another storage compartment down below. We get all of our trigonometry functions underneath with our dual handles here for the different sections. Then we can get in here very nicely. If you look very closely, we do have all the generations of truck as a nice Easter egg call out down there in the bottom. This section does flip up to kind of divide the two sections because I can actually reach all the way underneath this sliding center section here, and I could put a laptop underneath here if I needed to. It is truly an enormous storage bin. We get real wood on the top of both sections here. We get a felt lined section there. More of that Western design here, which is very nice. Two wireless chargers up here, tons of USB ports. All of these are dedicated for the screen and passenger over here. So that is very nice. These right here are just for power, while these actually interface with the infotainment if you want to wired connect via the wire. There we go. That's how you say that. But yes, lots of storage there. And then we get some storage pockets here on both sides. That is actually where my iPad is currently residing. But I did promise you taking a peek at that passenger screen, and there's a lot to see over there on that one. Before I climb in, I do want to call out, this is where Ram puts the jack and the tools necessary for fixing a flat, changing a flat. So just in case you're curious, that is where Ram hides it in their pickup trucks. But we will climb in to the passenger side and enjoy the heated and ventilated front seat over here. You can see I'm going to turn the ventilation on, but right now I have this screen here in front of me. You can see it is off. There is lots of glare. Hi, I can see myself in it. It does work mostly like a mirror, but with this button right here, it does turn on, and you can see, yeah, still quite a bit of glare on it, but I do have a lot of different functions. I can change what we're listening to. I can change what I'm watching. I can plug something in via HDMI and watch a movie here if I want to. I can change the navigation, truly be a co-pilot over here, or I can go to all the different cameras. So while the cameras on this screen do turn off at a certain speed for a certain distance, I can keep these cameras on no matter what speed we're going for, however long we want. So again, me as the passenger, I really can keep an eye on all the cargo, but you can see when I hit that more camera button, does trigger this screen over here, and then yes, I don't get the screen layout over here because the camera feed now goes there. So I don't get all the camera functionality over here that we get on the front, but I can really kind of pan around here if I want, really get a good view of what's going on around us, including behind me. I can keep an eye on the cargo, all that from right here, which is really nice. But again, the glare on it is just a little bit much for me. Then we get some more real wood here. This is actually branded into the wood, the limited edition badge right here, which is very nice. And then again, all the Western work here throughout the interior. Coming to me, I've got plenty of headroom up here. This is a massive pickup truck, plenty of room in here, but let's check out some of the unique features in the back seat because, well, there are plenty. For the back seat, I'm actually going to stay over here on the passenger side for a few different reasons, but I do want to go ahead and show you the door panels, still multi-functional with multiple different tiers. We don't get those rubber cup holders here, but that's okay because we get plenty in the back seat. All the Western design, woodwork, and the cloth, all very nice, repeating back here. And as we take a look at the seats, you can see they're 60-40 split. We get the Longhorn badge right there, all the Western work, the cloth, all the same designs and materials back here on the back seats. But On the backs of the front seats, we get these storage pockets that are very Western themed. So we get this buckle design here that is real metal and it does look very nice, but no, this doesn't open. It is purely decorative, but just the attention to detail putting this metal buckle here is very cool, very nice. And then you can see we get these giant one-piece floor mats that go all the way across with the ram there in the center, all that barbed wire design, very cool. But I do want to go ahead and climb up. You can see we do have those power retractable running boards. We do get a B-pillar mounted handle. It is very easy to get in the back of this pickup truck. Now, I've talked a lot about this sharing a cab with the prior generation, but not sharing a cab with the current generation 1500. And that means the back seat for a pickup truck is a little on the small side. Yes, there is still that mega cab option, which is the absolute largest in the segment. But I have noticed with Tucker riding in this car seat right here, and this particular passenger seat configuration where I have been riding, it's just been a little on the cramped side for him getting in and out with his car seat, but you can see plenty of room. I've got no problems back here in the back. We do get cup holders on the back of the center console. We get air conditioning vents on the back of the center console, more USB-A and USB-C power. We get heated but not ventilated seats back here, and we get some additional power with this household style plug back here. So that is very nice. And I guess a little bit of storage with this rubber mat right there, which is also very nice. We do have a fold down armrest with 2 cup holders. We get an adjustable center headrest, and we do get some coat hooks here in the ceiling back in the back. We get a reading light up above. Coming to me, you can see I've got a decent amount of headroom here. No real complaints, but those are not the only tricks back here in the back of the Ram 2500. And for that, I'm actually going to have to climb out and show you exactly what this thing is capable of by flipping the seats. So one thing I really like about the seats, much like General Motors, you don't have to pull any levers or latches. You can just lift them up and they stay in place, which is very nice. And then you can see we have some unique underfloor options here. We do have those cup holders actually in the floor, but you can flip and fold all of this out right here and then fold this, and now we have a table that is a massive flat floor, which even takes into consideration, yes, our cup holders there. There is another one under that passenger side over there, or the driver's side over there, so you can have a massive flat load floor here. Though, yeah, it is a little inconvenient because you are taking up a little bit of your cargo space. Unlike Ford with their truly flat floors, this is a compromise of sorts, but it does a good job, and you don't need to have it out if you don't need to have it out. We also have this light for convenience, shining a light on anything you've got going on back here. One last thing is hidden underneath these big one-piece floor mats back here. They are these storage bins, the Ram bins here in the floor, and you can see they do come out. We've got our tire pressure sensors here in this one, but if you need to clean them out, they do come out like that, which is very nice. And given just how cohesive it looks here with the floor mat in place, unless you know, well, you wouldn't even know. So nice concealed storage in the back cargo area, passenger area of the Ram 2500. Now you may be wondering, I've had this hat in a few of my shots, but I do want to say a huge thanks to Reed and the team at Happy Truck Month for sending us some merch and some gear from his lifestyle brand celebrating all things Happy Truck Month. And you can get one for yourself with the link down in the description. I get no profits, no proceeds, no anything. I just wanted to shout out my friend for giving us this cool hat, but gotta let the hair out for this one. It's a good hair day today, right? So yeah, gotta let the hair flow in this one. I do also want to say a huge thanks to RaceBox for sending us their 0 to 60 lap timer, race timer, acceleration timer that you can get for yourself. And we do make a profit off of each model sold using our promo code in the description down below, also allowing you to save 15% in the process. We'll show you just how that works here in a moment. But since we are inside with the cameras mounted and my phone projecting here on this massive, nearly 15-inch vertical screen, I can show you exactly what CarPlay looks like. I really like just how well you can see all of your icons. They fill out the screen very nicely. When you go to maps, you get a nice, rich layout of exactly where you are. You can see all of your different text messages very nicely. It all works and looks great here on this vertical screen. I think they make the most of it. You can still see we get our digital shortcuts down here. All this is still part of the screen, and again, I can turn the screen off that way or by hitting the power button right here. All that's very nice. I still have my quick access buttons right up here. So all of that works very nicely, and I think they've absolutely hit it out of the park with how well that works. I will note just how large the album artwork here is when you're listening to music on Apple Music, for instance. It really takes up a massive portion of the screen, and I like it. As we set off in this one, I do want to mention how there are no drive modes in this one, so you get what you get when you put it in gear, and how we have like a 3,200 RPM redline here with this 6.7 liter 6-cylinder Cummins turbo diesel. So those are some massive cylinders underneath the hood here in front of me. But the tach only goes to 5,000 RPM. So very interesting there. Ram does brag about how they increased or improved the 0 to 60 acceleration from 8 seconds to 6.9 seconds. And we're going to see just that. I am going to leave it in 2-wheel drive for this, so we may get some massive wheel spin because we do have over 1,000 pound-feet of torque sending the twist to those back wheels here in 2-wheel drive. But what I will do is I will come to a complete stop here on the road. I will stand on the brake with my left foot, stand on the accelerator with my right foot, and drop the brake. My goodness. Yeah, we're getting some wheel spin, but we are setting off and moving. This thing is very quick for just how big this beast is. 7.23 seconds on that run in 2-wheel drive with some wheel slippage, but I am going to go ahead, put it in 4 high, and we're going to give it another go. Now we are in 4 high. We're going to do the exact same thing. Stand on the brake, stand on the accelerator, and off we go. My goodness! 4-wheel drive is definitely the way to go. Holy cow! 6.21 with the 1-foot rollout, but my goodness, the difference that some additional traction made. That is quick for a big truck like this. I wasn't expecting that. That pure reaction right there. Oh, my goodness. That I'm a little bit blown away from that one. And those numbers really do speak to one of the factors that I've been talking about in this video is the daily livability of these pickup trucks. Being the largest state in the lower 48, we really do like big things, and big things are a status symbol. And these very much are a status symbol here. Just in my 7-ish mile drive to my current filming location from the last one, I saw over 20 heavy-duty pickup trucks in personal use, not heavy-duty commercial use, like personal use. We really do use these as family vehicles. I took Tucker to school today in this and was sitting in the school pickup line. And with numbers like that in acceleration, I'm better than some 3-row crossovers we've tested here on the channel. That is quite impressive, but I do pay a price. I'm seeing 10.8 mpg right now from the screen in front of us and nearly 100 miles worth of driving, though a lot of that has been running errands around town. Again, I have lived with this week. This has been my daily driver of choice. And yeah, it's reflected there in the fuel economy. And the EPA does not need to rate these because, well, they classify them as a work vehicle. So no EPA ratings, but 10.9 is what we've seen in our nearly 100 miles of testing purely in the city. We haven't gotten it out and tested highway economy or anything like that. It really has been a grocery getter for us, as it has been for a lot of people here in East Texas. Yes, a lot of people have these for dual purpose use, but a lot of people also don't. Again, status symbol. You gotta talk about how big it is. And speaking of big states, the largest state in the union, Alaska, claims this as their best-selling vehicle in the entire state. Again, just talking to where these are important. Texas is the pickup truck capital of the world, and yes, this one definitely appeals to a lot of Texas buyers with its Western theme and its capability. I'm still just blown away by those acceleration numbers here in this, and the difference between two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive really is impressive, just how different those two acceleration runs felt. I will be doing another acceleration run at the end of this, more like you would do in normal driving, where you're not revving it up and dumping the brake and all of that. But as we are now carving corners down my favorite driving road, which may seem a little bit odd to take this down a road that I love taking sports cars down, but it really does help me test a lot of things. Ride quality, interior noise isolation from the road around us, and body roll, things like that. And I will say Ram does claim this is the best riding heavy-duty pickup truck in the segment. And I would be inclined to agree with them. This really does ride quite well. We have that adjustable suspension there in the back. No more leaf springs in the back. We really are seeing leaf springs slowly die out in all pickup trucks. And Ram really kind of led the way with that in their 1500 line of pickup trucks, but I am very impressed with how this is riding in normal driving situations. I've gone over a lot of things that have upset previous vehicles like that, and it's doing a good job soaking it all up. Yes, you are still in a big, long pickup truck, but the ride in this is very comfortable and very compliant, and I can only imagine getting this thing out on the highway and making the most of the 31-gallon fuel tank in this, and I'm looking at 361 miles of range in the little bit that we've driven it. Yeah, this thing is a very comfortable long-haul cruiser, which if you're towing something behind you, or if you ain't, I would say this is a very comfortable vehicle. It does feel a lot like I'm piloting a house around all these corners, only because of how high I'm sitting, but not because of the steering feel or anything else like that. It really does take these corners nicely, though I am just kind of cruising down this road. This is a cruiser, after all, an East Texas cruiser for sure. But yeah, it is barely having to rev. I will say every time I put this thing in drive from park, we don't even use first gear. This thing has so much low end torque. The engineers actually put this thing in second gear from standstill. So talking about just how much twist that Cummins turbo diesel gives you. They really want you to be able to set off without tearing up the asphalt underneath you, which does speak to the one anecdote I have about parking this thing off-road here in East Texas. Not all of our parking lots are paved. Some are fields, and well, we experienced parking this thing in a field for an event this week, and when we went to set off and leave, well, there was just so much twist and torque, and there is just so much weight to this pickup truck that I actually had to put it in four-wheel drive to get out because I was tearing up the grass underneath me. It was just so heavy and had so much torque that, well, I needed to split some of it to those front wheels to get us out. So another reason why you may want to just default opt for the four-wheel drive if you are getting a heavy duty with this platform. It's heavy and has a lot of torque. So yeah, getting unstuck from situations or making sure you don't get stuck in situations, four-wheel drive absolutely comes in handy in those situations. But otherwise, yes, I have enjoyed our week in this one. I am going to be sad to see this one go, but it is a little bit large for us and our needs. We don't need it. Yes, we see a lot parked in our neighborhood and many other neighborhoods around town, but we don't need something this big. Tucker enjoys it, but the cab is a little on the small side for a pickup truck here in 2025. It's really kind of ridiculous just how large cabs have gotten in vehicles here lately. But yeah, this has been a fun one for us to have, just a little bit bigger than what we would need. But I guess now I can show you exactly what it's like to park in a normal parking lot, because here in East Texas, well, our roads and parking lots are configured for vehicles of this size. All right, to show you, I am not above doing a little investigatory journalism. We have arrived at our upscale Walmart, the nice Walmart in town, to do a quick pass through the parking lot to show you, one, just how easy this thing is to maneuver through parking lots, but two, show you just how frequent we see heavy duty pickup trucks here in East Texas. And look, right here in front of me, the pre-refreshed 3500 Ram heavy duty right there. It's the Laramie edition, so we've already got one just on our first lane of parking lot here in Walmart in East Texas. We'll go ahead and turn around and go down the other side. We are in, of course, the pickup truck capital of the world, so it is no surprise to see that we do have a large selection of pickup trucks, but we're on the lookout for heavy duty. So this 1500 Trail Boss, custom Trail Boss from Chevy does not count, but if you look up under the Murphy USA awning, we do have an F-250 from Ford just over there. So no heavy duties down this lane of traffic, but we'll go ahead, turn and go down this next lane and do a quick pan through the parking lot. I will go ahead and say I did a little investigation through the parking lots of my alma mater here in town, and in one parking lot we saw 4 heavy duty pickup trucks. That's in a university parking lot. So here we're in typical shopping situation, just showing you what drivers take to the grocery store. Off to our left, we have a Ram 2500, the prior generation. That one is a Laramie edition. And to our right, we've got a Chevy 2500 right there. So just here in one lane, we've got 2 heavy-duty vehicles down the grocery side on a random Tuesday morning. It isn't even noon yet. And yes, so showing you exactly what people take to the grocery store. Turning around the corner here, you can see we've got a couple more pickup trucks, but not heavy duties. And then to show you what this is like living with, how easy is it to park? Well, the steering on it is rather light, so I can just hit that button right there, get my parking cameras, and quickly whip into a parking spot right here. You can see just how large our parking spots here are in East Texas, that I'm not hanging out in the front or the back. These are truly Texas-sized parking spots, and I very much appreciate that. Yet again, speaking to why pickup trucks are so popular here in the state and why we use vehicles like this for our daily drivers. And then simply putting it in reverse, I can get out of the parking spot very easily as well. So very easy to maneuver this big pickup truck around, take it to the grocery store, wherever I need to go. We are now towards the end of the twisty bit of our typical drive loop, and we're going to do another couple 0 to 60 runs in this one. We're going to do more standard what you would see. I'm going to leave it in 2-wheel drive. We're just going to go from a full stop. I'm going to use only my right foot, moving it from the brake to the accelerator, and we will see what we get just in normal acceleration. Say you had to zip off from a start, merge onto the highway or whatever. I am a little concerned. This is relatively new pavement underneath me. I hope I don't tear it up too much with all the twist from the torque in this vehicle. But ready, set, off we go. My goodness, it revs into the power. It really rolls into all of that torque. So we aren't just absolutely obliterating the road underneath us. 7.67, so very similar to what we saw brake torquing it earlier and getting all that wheel spin that we saw in our very first attempt. And turn around now, point it in the other direction, do the same thing just for brevity's sake, and we'll see what we get here. So from a full stop, ready, go. Again, we're starting off in second gear, not even in first gear, so we aren't like tearing up the pavement underneath us. 7.35 on that one. So still very quick, just not blisteringly quick like when I was in four-wheel drive. Very impressed with the power of this, the daily livability of this powertrain, and the 8-speed automatic. I don't feel it shift. I do have an indicator light here in front of me telling me exactly what gear I'm in, but I really can't tell when it does its thing from the seat of the pants feel in here. I can hear the engine, I can see the RPMs, but this thing barely gets into 2,000 RPMs. The power, the torque is all way down low, and this thing really just effortlessly rolls into all the power. Speaking of effortless, the steering in this, as I've been driving down the road here, it is a little on the light side for how big this pickup truck is and how capable this pickup truck is, but did make it very easy to park in a standard parking lot. So again, I'm not complaining. It really makes this thing quite maneuverable and quite livable day in and day out. And then the visibility, I already showed you the functionality of the trailering mirrors, how you can adjust their slide out capability, how you can power adjust the upper and lower sections, and the tow mirrors. And yes, they really help with overall visibility without compromising visibility too much by kind of getting in your way. Yes, they are a big mirror, especially that one over there, but I can still see around me relatively nicely. And then the windows all around me give me good visibility as well. I don't have overly big pillars to look around, though having Tucker's child safety seat back there does cut into my rearward visibility a little bit. I don't get any blind spot cameras when I put the blinker on, but we do have those cameras mounted backwards for trailering that I wish Stellantis would find a way to possibly jump around any potential trademarks Hyundai or General Motors might have on that functionality when you put your blinker on, giving you a display here in the screen in front of me. That would be absolutely killer. We definitely have the hardware in the camera setup. I don't know if we've got the hardware in the compute power with the chipset in this vehicle, but the hardware in the cameras is definitely there. So it would be nice if Stellantis could figure out a way to give us a blind spot camera feed here in the gauge cluster or on this massive screen here when I put a blinker on. If you want to see more of what this is like daily living with Holly behind the wheel, keep in mind she did drive the safari truck at Disney's Animal Kingdom. You will absolutely want to hit the subscribe button down below and ring the bell. If you want to see more from us, you can find us on all social media platforms at GT Garage Talk, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, you name it, all at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, behind the wheel of the Ram 2500 Longhorn Limited Edition, until next time, gearheads, bye. $76, I don't believe that. Hey, gearhead.